Well, this time of year, farmers markets and grocery stands are filled with all sorts of yummy produce, from apples to peaches to tomatoes and squash. And these types of fruits and veggies couldn't exist as we know it without pollinators. Think of things like bees and butterflies. And right now, through Sunday, is National Pollinator Week. This is a time to start thinking of how to make your home and your yard more pollinator friendly. Here to chat about this with us is Stephanie Shepard, wildlife biologist with the Iowa DNR's Wildlife Diversity Program. Stephanie, thank you so much for making time for us.
I'm so excited to be here for Pollinator Week.
Well, in our area, eastern Iowa, western Illinois, what sort of pollinators can we expect to find?
So that area has a lot of different kinds. Just as an example, bees are kind of our superhero pollinators, and both states probably have between 400 and 500 species of bee that exist. And one thing that's really important about the Quad Cities is that you also probably have the endangered rusty patch bumblebee in your area, which does a lot of pollinating and is also worth conservation.
So if we're willing to rethink our backyards and our lawns, how can we make our green spaces more inviting to these insects?
Yeah, so first of all, like reducing the amount of lawn. We all like to have a little bit of lawn, but it's not terribly useful for our pollinators, even if it's kind of weedy. The best areas are going to be like loaded with flowers. So if you can reduce the amount of lawn that you're mowing and turn some areas into flower gardens, that's going to be ideal for our pollinators. Also, reducing the amount of pesticide you use in your area. Most insecticides are not specific enough and aren't going to, they're going to affect all pollinators or all insects that they encounter. And also think about planting native plants versus ornamentals, because native plants are adapted to our environment and our pollinators are used to them. And planting lots of different kinds so that you've got blooms in your yard from spring, summer, and fall. So all of those seasons. And the final one on sort of my top 5 things you can do is to at least designate a couple areas on your yard to let the grass stay, or let things like long vegetation hang out, and don't clean them up before the next spring, or even just let them stay. Those are really important for pollinators who winter in the leaf litter or underground.
You know, someone might say, okay, if I plant a handful of flowers in my backyard, is that really going to make a difference?
Well, that's the cool thing about pollinators and insects is they use smaller spaces like that. So, and I also encourage people to look around in your neighborhood and, see what other people are doing, and like building off of that as well. Like if everybody did a little bit, we'd actually have like a pretty big landscape of flowers out there if every, small plot, they all get added together.
Well, what kinds of flowers or shrubs or trees that are native plants would you recommend to plant?
Yeah, so there's a lot of great ones out there. And I like that you also mentioned shrubs and trees, because those can also be really valuable for pollinators. Basswood trees are great, willows, things like cherries. That bloom really early in the season when pollinators are first getting going. Some other nice blooming native plants that exist in urban area, that would be good in urban areas, is like butterfly milkweed, anise hyssop, echinacea. So lots of different native plants out there, and they're all beautiful. So just, look on a native prairie nursery.
Well, Stephanie, I know you've been really busy out in the field doing a lot of research outside this week, so I'm really thankful for your time today and for sharing all these tips with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I was very happy to be here.
And hey, if you guys at home, if you want to share this story or check out more of Stephanie's specific recommendations, you can head over to our website and click on the As Seen on TV tab.